White text appears on a black background. The following work was created and filmed at Théâtre aux Écuries in the fall of 2022 on the unceded First Nation lands of the Kanien'kehá:ka, Huron-Wendat, Abenaki, and Anishinaabe. Imago Theatre is committed to connecting and working with First Nation and Indigenous artists and arts workers to make space for their stories in order to create a greater understanding of what living here now really means. The word home in large white uppercase letters on a black background brightens slowly, then fades as the entire screen blurs, transitioning to the side view of a tree house draped in pieces of fabric, creeping leafy vines and branches. The tree house has 3 walls made from a patchwork of metal sheets, wooden panels, and lightly soiled cream-colored fabric. In place of the 4th wall there is a curtain rod and a drawn curtain made from 2 large pieces of tattered cloth. Inside the tree house, Hakima stares out of a glassless window frame. She is a light-skinned woman with smears of dirt on her forehead and cheeks, and dark brown hair pulled back into a high ponytail. She is wearing a peanut-colored t-shirt, a white, flowy knee-length skirt, patterned with royal blue ovals over dark brown capris, and taupe and white lace-up sneakers. Margaret is sitting cross-legged on the floor. She is wearing the same clothes as before, except for her gray overcoat. She takes out 3 small pieces of ripped clear plastic film out of the metal lunch pail and places them in front of her. The documentarian is crouched at the base of the treehouse, directly below Hakima's window and out of her line of sight. The documentarian peers through a small gap in the wall with a small handheld video camera. Hakima and Margaret use American Sign Language to communicate with each other.
Hakima,
Help me.
Hakima kneels.
You're crazy. I can't believe you spoke to the guard and offered food. Help me. What do you want me to do? Do you remember the boy named Sung? Yes, he was the boy who was fired from the mine. He told me these minerals have the power to reconnect us to the place where we feel at home. I'm trying to figure them out. How?
Hakima pokes at the minerals. Margaret picks up a piece and rubs it rapidly between her hands, then examines it in her palm. She brings it to one ear, listens briefly, then lifts it to her nose. She inhales, shakes her head at Hakima, then gently places the pieces on the floor with her head hung low. Hakima frowns and crosses her arms. Margaret looks down at her shirt, then pulls it over her head as Hakima watches with furrowed brows. Margaret lays the shirt flat on the floor and places all the mineral pieces on top. She folds the shirt around the pieces to create a square bundle. Hakima leans forward on her knees and grasps the bundle with both hands. She makes eye contact with Margaret, who places her hands on top of Hakima's. The bundle suddenly illuminates, then disappears.
It's working.
They resume their positions, and the burst of light returns. Their hands glow and pulse to the beat.
Let's dance. Okay.
They stand side by side, marching on the spot as the lighting in the treehouse dims. The bundle remains luminous. Margaret lifts the edges of her skirt and spreads it wide. Hakima follows her lead. They bow their heads and step forward and back to the beat. Their right hands connect, and they move in a circle. Then switch to their left hands, and the opposite direction. They separate and twirl on the spot, lifting both arms, palms open to the sky. They stop as their palms meet. They lower themselves slowly until their hands land on the bundle. Margaret sits and gently taps her feet on the bundle as a projected image appears above them of 2 pairs of dancing bare feet. Hakima laughs and touches the tips of Margaret's shoes. She lifts one hand through the shaft of light above the bundle, then kneels so her face is basking in the glow. The projected image shifts to a woman's wide, pearly smile as Hakima lifts her hand to her mouth. The light in the treehouse returns as the bundle's brightness fades away. Hakima returns to the window frame and softly gazes outward with a smile. Margaret draws her knees to her chest and stares at her shoes.
Hakima.
Did you feel harm? Me too. Do you want to do it again?
Hakima nods and crouches over the bundle. Their hands reconnect, and the light reappears. They each move away slowly. Hakima lifts her hands to her chest and stands. She stares at her open palms, then out into the distance.
I see everything. Me too. I feel the heat coming from the old oven. My mother's lips on the pipe, blowing a red ball to make little cups of tea, all in different colors. When I was born, my mother's store was always full of people coming to buy teacups. Drinking tea meant being together. Our lips are sensitive. You took the cup like this and brought it to your lips. My mother's lips said, "I love you," without words. They tickled my neck, my arms, my tummy, sometimes even the soles of my feet. My mother's lips tested the temperature of my forehead when I was sick. My mother's lips are home.
Hakima brings her clasped hand to her heart.
At home, time has stopped. My father loves dancing on the wooden floor. He keeps the rhythm, and we feel the ground vibrating in our bodies. I see the company men come into our house. My father stops dancing and runs towards me. The men catch my father and take him away. The floor no longer vibrates.
They took him to steal the rhythm of his body and put it in the euphoria powder they sell, so people can feel my father's rhythm when they inhale the euphoria. I am left alone. People in my country can't feel anything anymore. I remember them in the streets of the city, their noses bleeding, their skin damp, their worried gaze.
Margaret shakes out the bundle.
What are you doing?
Home. It's here now. We have to get used to it. Sleep. Tomorrow we have to work.
Margaret takes the pieces from Hakima.
So what do we do? Put it away.
Margaret dumps the pieces into the lunch pail.
I've got to find my mother again. We don't know where she is. The minerals can help us find her.
Margaret grabs her shirt. Hakima taps her on the knee and shuffles closer. Their eyes lock and Margaret lets her shoulders drop. Hakima fiddles with her skirt as Margaret places a hand on Hakima's cheek and nods.
Tomorrow we'll go find your mother.
Promise?
I promise, Hakima.
Hakima straightens up on her knees with a beaming smile. Margaret slides herself against the wall with her legs outstretched. She motions for Hakima to join her. Hakima lays her head on Margaret's lap and curls up in the fetal position. Margaret looks at the lunch pail, then closes her eyes. Through the wall across from them, the documentarian's shadow appears as Hakima's eyes flutter closed. The shadow lingers, then disappears. The documentarian pops up with her video camera on the open side of the treehouse. Hakima awakens and the documentarian shakes her head.
It's that documentarian. Ask her what she's doing here. Tell her to leave.
What are you doing here? Leave us alone!
The documentarian runs away. Hakima and Margaret glare out the window frame.
We will tell our own story!
We will tell our own story.
Margaret pulls the fabric curtain closed. The night shadows of the forest canopy appear over the curtain, and the treehouse slowly blurs into a black background. The following white text appears. Home, written by Mireille Tawfiq, dramaturgy by Emma Tebaldo. Co-creators, Micheline Chevrier, Christina Culiandro, Jackie Gallant, Chantal Labonte, Pablo Pugliese, Jennifer Roberts, Amelia Scott, Mireille Tawfiq, Emma Tebaldo, Diana Uribe. Consultant, Jennifer Roberts. ASL interpreters, Rosaline Gagnon, Jordan Goldman, Brooke Nonce-Kivel. Performers, Jennifer Manning, Jennifer Robert, with Alexandra Leferrier. Micheline Chevrier. Direction, Jackie Gallant. Sound design, Chantal Labonte. Lighting design, Maxime Lehman. Technical and cinematography support, Maxime Lehman and Pablo Pugliese. Editing, Pablo Pugliese. Cinematography, Amelia Scott. Projection design, Diana Uribe. Set and costumes. The white logo of Théâtre Imago Theatre appears, followed by the following white text. Conseil des Arts du Canada, Canada Council for the Arts, made with the support from the Canada Council for the Arts Digital Now grant.